Hello and welcome back to Wildsunne Art Studio. My name is Robinsunne. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Like is a present for me because then I know if you like this. And share is a present for you because you get to, have a friend to share art with, which is totally fun. And today we're kind of doing postcards across the miles, except we're not. We're doing greeting cards across the miles. But I thought this would be fun. So, my distinction is that a postcard looks like this, and it's just the single card, and you can see the artwork when you're traveling through time and space. And a greeting card gets to go in an envelope, and most often is like a book. So I was thinking that it would be fun to cut some paper cuts and put them on a card. Yay! Just one of the many possibilities of using paper cuts to decorate one's life. So how are you all today? I hope you are well. I hope you are happy. We're in a new month. And we get to think about, hey, this is the month. Pretty sure Easter won't happen. I haven't even looked, but I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I'll have to look. We can talk about this in the description below. I don't know when Easter is. Let's do a finial. And let's echo. See how this is what I mean by echo, the roundness of the heart and the roundness. It's not a perfect echo, but kinda. And let's do a double or a triple mandorla. La 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 la. Boy, the weather's going back and forth from, like comparatively warm 40-degree weather down to single digits. Kind of weird. Well, I don't know. It's New England. It happens. So I live on the coast of Maine, and right off the coast, there are bazillions of islands, but right off the coast where I live, there are a couple of islands, and there's this one big island called Islesboro. Actually, there's some movie stars that live out there. Kirstie Alley and John Travolta. I think there's some more. Anyway, just not to invade their privacy, but just that people may have heard of Islesboro because movie stars live there. And there are pictures in various archives here in the mid-coast that show people going from the mainland over to the island. Now, the island's in the ocean. It's not a lake island. It's an ocean island. And what is it? I think it's a mile or more than a mile between the mainland and the island. And usually people get back and forth by ferry. But 100 years ago, in the very early 1900s, I want to say I saw a picture from like 1901 or something. There, the ocean would freeze over, this whole huge expanse between the island and the mainland, and looky. Now, see, that's too big. I'll get back to this story, the island story. That's too big, it goes off, so I can't put it diagonally, but I can put it like this. So there's a card, and it can go through the mail, and you can open up the card and write what you need to write. Ta-da! And tuck it in an envelope and address it and send it off to people you love and adore. And I just thought, how are we doing for time? Good. That it might be fun to use silver paper on black. And I glued a sort of a writing place in this card. I happen to have a card that had lines on it, so I glued that in. Okay, more cutting, more storytelling. So about 100 years ago, every winter, the ocean between the mainland and the island would completely freeze over, and I don't mean like a thin skim of ice. The ocean would freeze over to such a depth that the ferry shut down for I don't know, however long, a month or two, in the middle of the winter, and people would be able to put things like building supplies, stuff that's really heavy and it was hard to take back and forth on the on the ferry. And so they would say, oh, well, so-and-so is going to build a house on the island and they're going to need, this many long planks and this many, pillars for their house and la. And we have to put, a gas tank in, or, so any heavy metal things and big wood things, they would put the stuff in these big carts, and they were horse-drawn carts. I mean, I think there were cars back then too, weren't there? But anyway, they mostly used horses and carts to take these big, heavy loads back and forth across, and that's how people got back and forth to and from the island. Isn't that amazing? Like, it wasn't just people walking over the ice because, a couple hundred pounds of a couple of people walking across wouldn't be so much. This was like, these huge carts with these big, massive workhorses. So, like several tons of whatever going back and forth across. Isn't that an amazing story? So, this is the story of the warming tendencies of the weather in Maine. And needless to say, I've been here since sometime in the 80s, and I've never experienced that kind of ice. The harbor, all the harbors get ice in them, but it's like a skim. You can't even walk on it. Although, there's a story, it's a really cute story about Andre the seal, the harbor master in Rockport, found a seal This was back in 1963, I think. Long before my time. But, I mean, before my time here in Maine, obviously, because I didn't get here for another 20 years. The harbor master found a seal who had lost his mom, I think, and he was, I don't remember the details of the story. Anyway, it was just this little seal pup, and the harbor master said, "Oh, poor darling," and he took him home. And his family, he had a bunch of kids, and the seal grew up with the kids. And then the seal got to be, I don't know, whatever he was, a couple 100 pounds. And it wasn't working out so well. When he was a baby, he fit in the bathtub. Anyway, there are books on Amazon. I'll try to remember to link the stories below. There's some picture books, but there's also, I think, the book that the harbor master wrote himself about his experience raising a seal in his house with his children. Yeah, so apparently, I think Andre lived for, I want to say he might have been alive when I moved to Maine. And the ice in the Rockport Harbor where he lived, it was so long and so thick from out in the ocean into the harbor, where people could break open holes, when the tides moved the ice and stuff. So it was never very thick. And there was a while when Andre couldn't, it was too long for him. It would freeze so far out of the harbor that he couldn't get air and then swim underneath and come up in the inner harbor. So I think probably since the mid-80s we've had that kind of ice. But yeah, I just noticed the other day that there was hardly any ice on the harbor at all, and it was a skim, the gulls could stand on it, but not humans. Isn't that pretty? So this is my offering to you today. Way too many stories. And greeting cards for you to tell stories to your friends and send them across the miles. Yay! And so I happen to like these sort of cool blue colors, but you can always use warm colors, and I was thinking I'd have time, but I don't think I do, to, ink the edges. You can do all that stuff and just throw a paper cut on too. Yay! So have fun talking with your friends across the miles and making pretty art for them. I keep getting all these postcards from my friends it's like every time I go to the post office, there's a postcard almost. It's so cool, to see, I don't know, I'm getting all these hand-painted cards and these collage cards and these silly cards and these beautiful cards. It's just so cool. So yes, this is a gift we give to our friends. May you have many gifts for your many friends. Alrighty, my sweeties. Have a lovely day. I love doing this, getting them to sparkle in the light. May you have many enjoyments in your day, even if they are simple as goofing around with plastic diamonds in the bright lights. All right, have a good day. Bye.